A few days after Christmas, my mom texted me a text message from one of her friends who fosters for a dog rescue, Rescue Dogs Rock, and asked if we could foster a blind kitten and said, hey, this kitten is getting surgery in Texas and the rescue is going to bring him to New York, and he has a ride in a couple of days, but he just needs to get a foster in New York. And I just couldn't say no. Buddy's the first kitten we've ever fostered that's blind. He was found with some really bad eye infections in both eyes, and the vets decided that the best thing for him was to remove both of his eyes, and he would be blind, but he would be healthy. He was about 8 weeks old when that happened, and then 2 weeks later, he was coming to New York. On Tuesday night, the 28th of December, Eric and I picked him up from a rest stop off the New Jersey Turnpike. The drive from Texas to New York was about 48 hours. He was in a van with probably 20 other dogs, and he was the only kitten. And so when we got him home, he was a little afraid to get out of the carrier. I gave him one of these chipmunk toys that we have, which every kitten seems to love, and he was like, oh, this is so much fun. So he quickly started playing with it. And I think that kind of calmed him down. So when he got out of the carrier, he started exploring the room that we set him up in, and we set him up in my office, which is just a pretty small room. And I felt like it was a good amount of space for him to explore because he was used to being in a cage. I wanted to make sure he could master that area before going to a different area. He was walking around a lot and using his nose a lot more than other kittens. He is sniffing a lot, trying to get used to the space. I mean, he definitely did run into a few things once he got a little more comfortable when he was exploring, but that's, normal. So that was our first night. I remember, we stayed up till probably maybe 2:33 with him. And then in the morning I woke up, I slept a lot, but then I woke up pretty early and I brought my pillow in there and a blanket and just laid on the floor with him. And then he ended up loving the pillow so much. He liked it more than his bed, so he basically just took over the pillow, and since then I just left the pillow in there. It became his pillow. So he was definitely just not feeling well the first few days, but he still wanted to explore since he was being he was so used to being so confined. So he was really happy to have his freedom, and he just wanted to play. He was just really excited and so happy, and he just was a very happy kitten.
What are you doing, buddy?
We ended up scheduling a vet appointment for him. We also noticed, in addition to the upper respiratory infection, he also had some infection on his eye incision area. So where one of his eyes was removed, there was definitely an infection. So we ended up taking him to the vet for that, and he was on antibiotics for a couple of weeks. But luckily that cleared up pretty quickly, but he had to wear the cone of shame during that time. Since this is the first time we were fostering a blind kitten, we did a bunch of research ahead of time. I received a bunch of tips from other people on Instagram to tell us what they thought would be best for him, so we can make adjustments. So the couple of adjustments that we made to the space was we kept a lot of clutter off the ground and just set spots for things. So his litter box and his food and water were always just in the same spot. We also left the toys in the same spot. Basically, so it was just really easy for him to remember where things were. So we also made sure there was no sharp edges, which I do with the kittens anyways. No wires hanging down, another thing that I do anyways with the kittens. And then a couple of things that we had to do, we had to modify our behavior in ways was if you picked him up, you had to put him back in the same spot. And this was just to make it he could easily orient himself. He was able to easily figure out where he was because he knew how to get to other places from that spot. Also, when you come into the room,
what are you doing?
We would always just announce ourselves and be hey buddy, before doing anything. And the same with going to pet him. We wanted to him to know it was us when we were petting him. So we'd be hey bud.
Hey buddy. Oh, hi.
One of his favorite toys was the window hammock. And although he couldn't appreciate the view, he still loved sitting in it. Some of the other toys were like, he liked this platypus toy that I got from Target, and it has a little bell inside, and he loved that. He actually ended up destroying it a little bit, so we had to sew it back together. And then he loved this taco toy, which we also got from Target. It made like a little crinkle sound. So a lot of the really good toys for him were the ones that made some sort of sound. So whether it's a crinkle sound or like a ball with like something in it, or a mouse toy with something in it, those were really good for him, and he would be able to find them pretty easily. And it would also be a way for me to like get him to come to me if I like shook the squeaker toy. As he got healthier, he wanted to explore a lot more. So at first we had him in the office, and he was really happy in the office, but then he quickly was like, I'd like some more freedom. So we started leaving the office door open, and the office door leads to my bedroom. And with some encouragement, he started venturing out into the bedroom. At first it was like, a couple times where he was like, oh no, is it scary? But he kept on like inching out. And then he finally was like, okay, this is fun. So the more he got into the bedroom, we had to make sure the bedroom was very clean. It took him like a couple days to get comfortable with the bedroom, but it was really quick. And we ended up having an extra queen mattress that we put on the floor next to our bed. And I thought it was going to be more of like his cat bed, a really big cat bed.
What's up, buddy?
But he ended up using it to climb onto our bed and climb down from like our bed. So he quickly realized like that's the way he climbs up and down our bed, and he decided that our bed was the place where he wanted to take most of his naps. From that first night of discovering our bedroom, he slept in the bed with us every night. He pretty much took it over. He slept next to us, stole our pillows, and Eric would sometimes wake up with Buddy on his chest or like in a little nook of his like arm. It was just really, really sweet. We normally don't let kittens sleep in the bed with us. I mean, singleton sometimes we do, but it's pretty rare that we get kittens in the bed with us all the time. Sleeping with kittens is always very challenging because just like any kitten, Buddy decided that he wanted to wake up in the middle of the night sometimes. And he would also wake up at like 4 or 5 a.m. and want to play. And I'm pretty sure he thought like my hair was a toy. I'd wake up to him like biting my hair or like pouncing in the sheets. He had a lot of fun and woke us up early all the time. Eventually we learned that we had to like really tire him out. So we'd play with him from like 8 to 10 nonstop, and we kind of got really creative on how to tire him out because he's pretty smart. Like he would get like bored with some of the toys, so we had to like get creative. So this way he would at least sleep in until like 6 a.m. As Buddy got more comfortable in our bedroom, he started wanting more places to explore. So we eventually started getting him an area in our living room. And we enclosed him with a pet gate, and it's from Clearly Loved Pets. It's one of my favorite pet gates. I use it for all of my kittens. While he was in that area in our living room, he got to like spend a ton of time on the couch. I was a little afraid he wasn't going to be able to get up and down the couch, but he showed me that he was fine. He was very good about getting up and down the couch. I did add a pillow like next to the couch, so this way it would be even easier for him, but he was fine. All of our kittens love the couch, and Buddy was no different. He just wanted to lay there. He would often like sit and perch and sort of watch us, although he wasn't watching us. But he would sit and perch on the corner of the couch. So we also had this like box fort that was up, and the box fort we made around Christmas for the holiday kittens, and we left it up. We were actually gonna throw it out, but I waited a few weeks and we kept it up, and we thought it would be fun for Buddy. I actually was a little nervous that he wasn't going to be able to get it because there's like we made a lot of twists and turns in it, but he loved it and he quickly figured it out. And we would often like find him sleeping in the covered bridge, just like the holiday kittens.
Hey, buddy.
So we tend to keep our foster kittens contained for as long as possible. We start them off in a small place and then we slowly give them access to more space because they always just want more.
What are you doing, buddy?
So we start them off really small and go bigger.
Okay.
With Buddy, we kept on having to expand the space that we gave him. And it was pretty amazing how quickly he outgrew his space. Every time we gave him something else, he mastered it so quickly. He would just be like, yeah, okay, I'm ready to
What are you doing?
Let me get out of here. Let me try this. It was pretty amazing how quickly Buddy grew out of all the areas and just wanted to explore more. It seemed like he was so happy exploring. I guess we wanted to just continue giving him that opportunity. So he got access to our entire upstairs and living space, and he had to learn how to go down the stairs. And that was a little stressful.
Oh.
So climbing up the stairs was actually pretty easy. He got the hang of that pretty quickly. And that seems to be the way with a lot of things with him. He could easily jump up on things, but going down, it's much harder. I think he was a little concerned because he didn't realize we have glass railings and he didn't realize, there's something that keeps him in. So going up was easy. Going down is a lot tougher. He was having some trouble figuring that out, and he was very cautious, and we had to encourage him to come downstairs.
Go, buddy.
Actually, a few times when he was learning, he would go all the way upstairs, and I would hear him sort of stuck up there, not sure if he wanted to come down or not because he was a little afraid of it. And that was just so sweet, and so sad that he was stuck up the stairs. But after a while, honestly, after a day or so too, he quickly figured it out. He was like, all right, I got this. Stairs, no problem. He just needed some encouragement. And now he has mastered the stairs. We also had to figure out some new ways to entertain him because once Buddy got access to everything, he was able to get into Eric's office. So we gave him this box that he seemed to love. All kittens love boxes, right? But he loved his box. And then we also put together some makeshift toys that would work really well for Buddy. And I think other cats too. We basically put the cat dancer on the door and he loved that. So he was able to just try and get the cat dancer. We also had some sort of fishing lure that we added a crinkle ball to. And that was because when we tried doing just the fishing lure, he couldn't really hear it. But we added the crinkle ball and he was able to hear it. So that made it much easier for him to get. And he loved those toys. I actually sent him home with those toys. After a few weeks with Buddy, and he was completely healed at that point, and he was also, had explored every area of our house, I think we both knew, Eric and I both knew that it was time for Buddy to go to his forever home. We just felt like we couldn't teach Buddy anymore. He was ready. So I wasn't able to handle Buddy's adoption, but I did specifically tell them that I think that he needed to go to a home with another young cat or kitten because he needed a playmate. He was never socialized with other cats or kittens, and he kept on thinking I was his playmate, but he needed a buddy. Buddy needed a buddy. So in the beginning, when I first got Buddy, I had put up a YouTube live. So this way, it basically was a live stream that streamed multiple hours a day, and people could watch Buddy. Buddy's adopter had been watching Buddy on the live stream, and she just was falling more in love with Buddy every day from that. And I think she had sent me some videos of her current cats watching Buddy on the live stream, and it was just so cute, and I just loved everything about it. So he was adopted into a home with 2 young cats and their sisters, and Buddy is quickly taking over their home. I saw a video of him grooming his sister the other day. It was just so sweet. So he's settling in really well. I'm so happy about the forever home that he landed in. They just love him so much, and they were following his journey from the very beginning, and he's already so happy in his new home. We really learned so much about fostering Buddy. We learned how blind cats are just completely capable and adaptable, and they really can do everything that a cat with eyes can do. And thinking back, it just felt like Buddy was a typical singleton kitten who wanted a lot of attention, who had a lot of energy, and thought I was his playmate. A couple of people had asked me if I would foster another blind kitten, and the answer is like 100% yes. I would do that again in a heartbeat. I learned so much just from taking care of Buddy for the couple of weeks, and I just really learned that they're just like any other kitten. It was very easy to forget that he's blind. Buddy was so adaptable, and I'm just so impressed by him all of the time.